Hello, this is the webmaster of Lake Heritage Property Owners Association. I wanted to make 3 videos to show how SurveyMonkey could be used in an electric or digital election. That is, how would you prepare a ballot using SurveyMonkey? What I did to show this is I converted the 2018-2019 print Lake Heritage ballot for the board of directors, and I did convert it into an online ballot. So what you're going to be seeing in video 1 is what would the end user or the voter see. Also, how does the user vote? What do you do with write-ins? That was very, very difficult. Very difficult to incorporate write-ins in SurveyMonkey, and other possibilities. I'd like to talk to you about other possibilities that were not used, but that could be used. For example, you could have a video, 5-minute YouTube video of each candidate. That would be no problem whatsoever. And you could also have a video link to the Meet the Candidates event. Okay, so paper ballots simply don't have that possibility. Okay, let's take a look at the ballot. And it will appear in a second. Here it is. This is what the end user, the voter, would see. Okay, they see the title, Board of Directors, 2018-2019 election ballot with a write-in option. I did prepare a template without a write-in option, much easier, instructions were easier, but we had to accommodate write-ins. Okay, I just could not include them. Okay, and we see some directions, and I'll try to highlight this. On this ballot, there are 2 ways to vote. If you decide to stick with the declared slate of candidates, answer question 1, which allows up to 3 choices. If you want to write in a candidate, fill in the names in question 2. While you may write in any name, only Lake Heritage Property Owner Association members over the age of 18 are eligible to serve on the Board of Directors. Altogether, counting your votes in question 1 and question 2, you may only select 3 candidates. If you select more than 3, your vote is invalid. If you watch video 3, when I get into the exported Excel spreadsheet, to determine how many times someone has voted, it'll explain why it's not that difficult to make sure that only 3 votes have been in fact given. Here we have here is the slate of published candidates who are running for the Board of Directors. Let me highlight this. You may select up to 3 candidates from the list below. Check the first box only. Check the first box only if you want to enter 3 write-ins. It should be write-ins. Now, I had to include this, much to my chagrin and horrification, because if I did not include it, and you can see that these are check boxes. Check boxes on online forms really let you pick as many choices as you want. Now, I had to, in order to limit the number of choices to 3, okay, I had to make this a required question. Okay, that let me limit it to 3. And as a required question, unless you voted at least once for one of these, you picked one of the check boxes in question 1, you would go into an endless loop. You would be stuck and stuck and stuck forever. So this is a checkbox, and it's only to be used if someone wants to vote as a write-in, wants to vote for 3 write-in candidates. This will probably never be used, or maybe 1 or 2 people would use it out of 500, but it is a possibility, and I had to include it. Now, if in fact this is what you wanted, you would then go down to question 2. And if we take a look at question 2, down, 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 scroll down, here's where you do your write-ins. You would just write whatever candidate you wanted. So, unfortunately, those are the bylaws. We can't get around them. We have to offer write-ins, and that was how to accommodate someone who wanted to write in all 3. Again, it's a lot of work for 1 or 2 people, but those are the rules of the game. Most people will probably stick to the slate of candidates. These are candidates who are published in the newsletter, published on the website. They filled in a form that asks them specific questions, and there's a great deal of uniformity in the information we have about each of them. So if you wanted to vote for Stanton Brown, you would simply click Brown. If you wanted to vote for Ronald Brown, you would click. And if we want to go down, 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 and you wanted to vote for Peter Vogel, you would click. Now, at this point in time, you voted for 3 people, and you're really done. You cannot vote for a 4th. Theoretically, you could write in a name here for a write-in ballot, but then you would invalidate your vote. Okay, so I'm just going to put done, and then these 3 candidates would each receive 1 vote from this 1 voter. Now, the way that the SurveyMonkey ballot, election ballot, would be distributed would be through an email invitation. So, for purposes of demonstration, I couldn't do that because I would need a population of, say, 25 people who would be willing to vote. And so I really made what they call a link ballot. That is a link. And once I voted once, cookies prohibit me from voting again. Okay, so if I click on the same survey, I'm not going to be able to vote again. However, when you provide a link vote, there's an easy workaround. If I go to the history and I clear my history, I will be able to vote again. Now, in an email invitation ballot, that would not happen. Once you vote, you have voted. There's no do-over. But here there is. So it gave me at least, once again, it's visible. Now, let's say you wanted to write in 1 name. You wanted to have 1 write-in. Okay, you might pick, and this is totally argued. You might pick Michael Kaywood. You might pick Sue Heller. And you might write in, let's go down here, and you might write in someone like, let's see, Harry Smith. Now, there's no way that we can restrict what the person enters, okay? This is free form. In other words, the person can enter a telephone number, they could enter their favorite cocktail, a martini, whatever. There's no way we can restrict this, but if you look at the directions, it says if you want to write in your selections, you may add the names of up to 3 candidates. Remember not to vote for more than 3 candidates, or your ballot will be invalid. So if I submit this, okay, I think of a couple of things. Well, this is 1 vote for Harry Smith. It's a vote for Sue Hellier, because she's checked, and it's a vote for Michael Kaywood. If I overpopulate the top, if I pick more than 3 in question 1, then in fact it'll give the user an error message. So, that's how that works. And I should do that to show you. So, let's say this is a vote with 1 write-in. I go down and I do done. And that would mean it will give you a short response. Thank you for taking the survey. Now, at this point in time, once again, cookies, which are little text, a little bit of a text code, will block me from taking the survey again. So I'll be blocked. But I can clear this quite easily by clearing my history, or sometimes called cleaning the cache. And you can see cookies are right here. So this is what I want to eliminate. And I can go back and take the survey endlessly. As I said before, you cannot do this if you cannot do this if you have an email ballot, which we would definitely use. Now, let's say you overvote. Let's say you want Brown with an AU, you want Brown with an OW, you want Kaywood, and you want Hellier. Now, you have overvoted in the slate of candidates. You've picked 4. So there has to be some way in the programming not to let this happen. So let's see, well, what happens if you vote for 4? I'll say done. And I see up here, you are limited to 3 candidates. Okay? So in other words, a person would have to eliminate one of the candidates. Let's say they eliminate Brown. They go back. They click again. And this time it should go through. No error message. And we can see thank you for taking this survey. So it did go through and everything worked out quite well. So that's what the voter, the end user would see. That's how they would vote. And that's how I took care of the write-in candidates, which made really building this form, this ballot, much more difficult. And let me stop it here. Thanks for watching.